Well, good morning and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lan Jahi, and I gotta say this, I am so happy to be feeling all good and alive today because yesterday was a crazy ass day. I don't know if you're supposed to say that on YouTube, but well, let me grab a seat. I was badly sick yesterday. I didn't even think I'd be able to wake up and do anything constructive today, but wow, thank goodness. Here I am, and on our Wednesday issue, today we're gonna talk about something called pain, why it's important, and how best to navigate through it. In our day-to-day life, we encounter situations or experiences that may cause us pain or pleasure in one way or the other, and how we deal with the pain is what really matters, because that is what kind of informs how you act, how you treat other people, and how you grow. Okay, pain can be useful. It's not the most pleasant thing, and it's not the thing we're comfortably talking about, but it's necessary. I think at large, if we viewed suffering differently, it would make it much bearable to go through life, other than being very spiteful and very, bitter and how is it called? Uh, Being angry at life and everything. Number one, you have to register the things that will continuously continue to happen in life that is out of your control, and that those that will be in your control. So you worry about the things you can control. The things you can't control, if they go as you wanted them, good. If they don't, you have to find a way of restructuring yourself, making peace with that, and knowing that if you've done the best you can and it still doesn't turn out how you hoped it would have, then that's okay. Let life play out itself also. You can't control everything, right? So, pain, I'm going to talk about it in how we mostly perceive it in a negative way. Painful people are very selfish. It's hard for them to see light or positivity in another. And when people are hurting, they have very different outlets. Sometimes when you're going through immense kind of pain, or pain you're experiencing for the first time, you really don't know how to act. And I will use an example of a teenage mom, right? If you have your kid early in life and you don't have the support that you hoped you would have, it makes you, it turns to a very cynical, very bitter, very angry person. And most of the times you don't realize these things because your perception or your reality is fixated on how everybody else has failed you, how this is so unfair, too unfair, it shouldn't be happening to you, how the world hates you, and it makes you question yourself a lot. These are normal things. Go ahead, feel everything. You see, things about heavy emotions like pain, intense emotions like pain, is you have to be able to sit with it. Feel the pain and understand that the only way out is through. You have to work through your pain. And when you see a friend, or you see someone that you're close with that is very resentful, very, very bitter, very angry about anything and everything, just know in their own way they're going through a struggle you can hardly comprehend. So instead of running away or alienating her or him, it's best that you try to understand it has nothing to do with you as the friend. It's everything to do with them and everything they're having to go through in their own lives. Their reality is very different at that time and place. So being able to try and accommodate that would be one of the green flags of being a good friend. And it can be exhausting. So contain as much as you can, because one thing I know about pain, you must have an outlet. And the script, they have a song called the six degrees of separation. I mean, there's a point where you want to tell everybody and anything about the pain you're going through and how miserable it is. And most of the times we try to, when you're doing this, it's because we are trying to pass the blame to somebody else, as opposed to being accountable to ourselves on why the things have happened how they have. And I know that is difficult, especially when you're when you're hurting. It's very hard to have a moment of introspect. It's difficult. And that's okay. No one is asking you how to figure out your pain now and then tomorrow be okay. Hell no, take a whole year if you must. You know? Just don't let it consume you. Don't let it turn you into something else. And I know these things are easy to say, but they're not easy to do. But you must try. You must, for yourself, for those around you, for those you care about. You must try. And I know it does help to find someone to talk to, somebody that just makes you realize it's not new. You're not the first person to experience pain like this. It might be your first time to experience this pain, but it's not entirely you kind of problem. It's a universal kind of problem. Every day we're fighting demons and battling pain in one way or the other. It's just people have come to master their way around it or through it, or some people just numb up because that's a defense mechanism. So I want to say, like, it would be nice if we all learned how to grieve healthily. And in the start, you don't have to be rational. Si lazima uelewe hii pain itaisha ama si lazima ikifanyika sayo, just feel everything. No one is asking you to be a superhuman. None of us is. So when you're feeling stuff, feel everything. But know when you're over grieving. Know when you're over hurting. Know when it's now becoming toxic to yourself. Know when to stop yourself. And still in early teenage pregnancies, sometimes what we don't understand, or first-time mothers or people who are experiencing parenting for the first time without the right support system, what you have to understand is it can be a lot experiencing anything for the first time, especially if you're going to do it alone. It's intense. And I want you to realize, and this is where baby mamas and baby daddies come to play. If we really love our kids, sometimes you have to be selfless and know that if you're in a place you're hurting and going through so much pain, it's harder for you to be let me just pause for a bit. It's hard for you to be a productive parent, you know? It's hard for you to love when everything inside of you is time. Well, I know people easily say, oh, me, especially when people are going through postpartum depression and the first phase of being a parent. We always like to lie at you, oh, me, I love my child, oh, we know this for sure. It's not like that unless you have prepared, unless you have planned, this is what I want to do. If it catches you off guard, you know that's not how it is. You're angry, you're in so much pain, and it's hard to be anything for anyone, let alone be a mother to a kid. It's tough. And this is where you find parents sometimes inflicting pain on the kids. It's because most of the time they are what is the word they use? They're projecting their pain, their suffering onto the person that is close to them. Honestly, if we are going to break the generational curse or the toxic cycle of bitterness and anger that is transferred to one generation to another, I think it's important to build yourself, or to build a good foundation of friendships around yourself, that in those moments you don't have capacity to be a mother or a father. Kuna msee anaweza kukushikilia mtoto kiasi ujitafute, because senye una go through pain, you can't be anything beautiful to anyone. Your trauma yako utashinda ukipass on to everyone that is around you. So baby mamas out there and baby daddies out there, if either of the parties offering help, please take it. Don't let your pride cost you. Don't let your ego cost you, because you and me know it's necessary that you get a little bit of help, just a little bit of break, to just go over the chaos that you are in. and try and find yourself to a place you can be a productive human being around other people. Because pain is ugly. Damn, pain is ugly. It's terrible. And I might not say it in the significance that it requires, but what I know is if you want to, you get past pain. And whenever they say hurt people, it's true. When you're in a good space, when you're healed, there's nothing causing you to inflict pain to another person. Nothing. You have nothing to gain from that. So why would you engage yourself in such a negative energy? And just realizing that you are not the emotion, but you're going through an emotion is also very important. When you're going through pain, it's important to know that you're not an angry person. It's important to know that you're not a bitter person. It's important to be able to tell a part that I'm feeling bitter and it's consuming me and I don't know what to do about it. And I would like to. The moment will is introduced to suffering, everything starts to change. When the will to do better, will to feel better, and will to live is introduced to any negative situation, in a very small scale, things start to change. Very slowly. It might be a sluggish, but in a compounded overview, it's very significant. So, number one, surround yourself with people that are able to accommodate you when you're going through very rough times of your life. And that's why I say it's very important to have intentional friendships. It has to be a value-based friendship. Friendship that transcends the drinks, the eat outs, all the superficial things. Friendship that run deeper to be able to share a piece of suffering. You need those. You need those. Number two, talk to somebody. I want you to realize that you're not the first. You will never be the last to go through anything you're going through. People have been there before. There will be others after you. So talk to someone. Just talk. Even if you have to tell somebody, shut up, I don't want to hear your opinions about it. I just want you to listen. Do it. Number three, know when to stop yourself so you're not consumed by pain. And number four, you're healing when you're able to, struggle yourself through the pain. You're in a good space when you don't feel the insatiable need to get even, to prove yourself, to prove how badly you can hurt somebody. When you can just sit and find resolve, then you're in a good space. And there's nothing as good as knowing that you can be through the darkest of phase of life, and it might have turned you, but you have learned to keep the monster at bay. And consciously choosing to be a more productive person, more positive person in the society. It might look like a far out of reach kind of thing, but it's not as far as you think. And it's a good feeling. It is a good feeling. It's far much better than the pain. I know pain can be a really good driving force. Pain can propel you, it can give you energy to do shit. But then what's the cost of it? You lose yourself in the process. As opposed to when you try to rationalize pain, forgive yourself and go through it, you stand to gain more of yourself. So I guess the choice is yours. And I think that's it for today. You see, these topics that I just hint on my videos, I want to be able to sit and talk to somebody through how they've been through their pain, how they've conquered it, how they've emerged on the other side. What is the lessons they learned? Because I think these are things people need to hear about. Because we think when we are hurting, when the world has turned grey into us, we think we're the first one to stay into the abyss. But we are not. So it might hurt you, but ujue pia itapita tu pia. But I'm very sorry for everyone that is going through pain. I know you don't deserve it, but also it may sure happen. There's no amount of what if, should have, could have, that can bring back the moment. It has happened. It was out of your control. Let it go. Let it go. Stop blaming yourself. Stop trying to find people to blame over your pain. It may sure happen. It sure happen. Hakuna ku go back to your moment ni hainge happen. Ishafanyika. It's not fair. It shouldn't have happened to you. It should. I mean, not you. I mean, there's no justification why anything happened to you. But then you must also understand that it's already happened. There's nothing much you can do about it to reverse the whole situation. But you get to choose. This is where you have the power. You get to choose how you move forward with this. You can either let the pain consume you and let it turn you to be a cynical person, or you can accept and say, yeah, I might have had fault in this, but it shall happen. I can't stay in this place for a long time. So I'm going to do what I have to do until I get better. Because I think I love myself enough to want to be better than this. Pain is a very dense emotion. It's a very... The frequency is so low that it's so deep that it can alter you to be something else. And you don't want to go through pain. You don't want to hold on pain in your heart for 5-10 years and then have a life of regret. You know? If we changed how we view suffering, we would be able to make a lot of progress in our individual lives in a very significant way. So, again, just find things to be grateful for. It makes it easier to go through pain. Just find things to be grateful for. Slowly by slowly, it starts to ignite hope. Slowly by slowly, hope looks like something beautiful. It makes your heart heal. It kind of says to the pain that it's not justified, but it's okay. It kind of tells the pain it doesn't have to be this ugly. It kind of tells the pain we're going to try and suture the scars. No, the injury. It tells the pain that this scar, every time I look at it, it won't cause me pain, but it will cause me to understand just how much courage I have learned and I have been able to gather in my life. It will, what positivity and gratitude does, it does what addition does. It gives you a breath of fresh air. So, and it can be as small as, oh, I am so happy that I am alive today. I am grateful that I have a place I can engage my energy. I am grateful that I'm healthy. I am grateful that I can see. I am grateful that I can go to the toilet. The very, very little mundane things. Find reasons to be grateful in the slightest of things. You'll be very surprised how life starts to fill up. And slowly by slowly you start grasping your worth. you start to understand what makes you good. It makes you appreciate yourself. And when you start to appreciate yourself, huh, a lot of a lot happens. A lot of possibilities opens. I guess what I'm trying to say, don't let pain consume you. It's not worth it. Everybody's going through it. And whenever I talk about things like pain, I try not to be over positive about it, because I know that this pain that is soul shattering, that you would never know how to come out of it. I just hope if I ever get to experience that level of pain, one that makes me flip again, that I get to have people that are able to pull me through. It's one thing to have pulled myself out last time, but it's another when you know, this one can throw you into the abyss, where you're no longer staring it to see the light through it, but to be consumed by it. I think that's what really counts in this life, when you have people that can draw you out. It's not the money. There's no amount of money that can buy sorrow or hollowness out of you. There's no amount of money. There's no amount of money that can plaster pain out of you. Well, it will dilute it for a bit. You'll go to Paris, you'll go, I don't know, eat expensive food and all that. But just like Beyonce said, it's the soul that needs a surgery. You really have to learn your way around your soul. It's the thing you can't see, you can't touch, but it's the most wounded. It's the thing we try to fill up with material things and a superficial life, but we can't, because what the soul needs is far much deeper. It calls you to look into yourself. It calls you to find your home inside of you. That place that Maya Angelou says you need to keep it pristine. You have to keep it clean, that no one has the right to curse you. I don't care what you've done in this life. I don't care I don't care what you have done. That place, it remains pristine. It's the place where you go to be objective with yourself. It's the place where you don't go to lose yourself. It's the place where you go naked and regroup. No one should ever touch that place. Understand your home in your soul. I don't know, when I say soul, people see it like such an ambiguous thing, or it's something that is out of this world. It's out of touch with reality. But you know it. You know you have it. You know. Look inside. Know what your soul looks like. Know what pleases it. Know what causes it pain. Know what causes you to lose your soul. And when you find if you find yourself in a soul-shattering pain, I don't know what you would do, but I just know, find people. We are social creatures. Our social aspect has a tendency of bringing us back to life. So invest in those. Bye.